now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Tuesday show, March 26, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Mass. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox local app if you are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, on your couch, on the big screen, we say hello to you. However you're watching Woodward Sports, we appreciate it. Braylon Edwards, we appreciate you. Happy Wednesday, or Tuesday to you, I should say.
Ooh.
How you doing?
It's one of those type of weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Already.
Well, I write the open for Fox
Right.
our 9 o'clock show, and every day.
So you do it ahead of time.
The line.
Yeah.
I say every day it is, hey, Monday show, hey, Tuesday show, whatever. Today I wrote the first line of it was Friday show. I have no idea where my mind was with this thing. I wrote Friday.
You're on Good Friday already.
It's just Tuesday. I mean,
Speaking of Friday, like when did Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday, when did that become Sunday? Like, geez Louise. March 31st in the leap year?
It's early.
now next year it's much later.
Right.
True, I get that. But March 31st?
I don't get it either, man. It's an early Easter this year.
I'm like, wow. I talked to my mom this morning. How you doing, Mom?
What's up, Mom?
What's up, Mom? You know what it is.
Hey, Mom.
Talk to moms, and she's like, hey, what are you guys, this Sunday, talking about me and baby girl, so we'll be over there. But I was just like, wow, March 31st. Like, you've seen it seems weird.
Get your eggs ready.
I ain't, look, man, I'm a potato salad lover, so trust me, like Easter
You guys have egg fights?
Nah.
Oh man, this
Not
is
wasting eggs.
this is a part of being in a relationship, though, that you are
Which side?
trying to navigate. I mean, Braylon, this is a big Easter Sunday for you.
It is, man.
Was there an argument of where you go?
No, it was communication.
What church you going to?
No, we're not going to church, but I think, my parents, they invited me first, and so her, and so I don't think her parents are doing anything, so it kind of was easy.
Oh, easy one.
Easy in that situation, but eventually it's coming, right?
Yeah.
Eventually it's coming.
If you got through this one, you can get through any of them.
November, December, those are going to be the big ones.
Oh, man.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, buddy.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Bray, everybody.
Hey, what's up, man?
It's Tuesday, no field Tuesday, but we have Calvin Johnson today.
Which is very
That's a
exciting.
pick-me-up.
It is very exciting to talk to Calvin Johnson. I know there's a lot of developments and progress with his Primitiv Performance CBD brand that just became the official performance of Ford Field.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting for him. He'll talk to us about that
Don't
and all
forget
things
Rob
Lion.
Sims, our good friend, too.
Absolutely. He's
Yeah.
partnered with Rob Sims on that Primitiv Performance. So we'll get Calvin's take on that. The official performance partner of Ford Field. How far, right? Think about this. In your mind.
Amazing.
Cannabis, CBD, marijuana has come just in the last 5 years specifically, but really think about 10 years, 20 years ago, its place in society, and now where it is. It's just really remarkable.
It is remarkable, especially considering all the cats that are in jail for like now what's legal. Like, that stuff's the funniest. But I think also when you look at it from this perspective, Calvin Johnson is allowed to have a space in an NFL franchise, talking about the Detroit Lions and Ford Field. Former players weren't allowed those spaces with teams. I mean, you couldn't have a space with a team or, an ownership or things of that nature, raise money or have a sponsorship package. It took a lot, or you had to be one of those type of quarterbacks. You had to be a Brett Favre or Peyton Manning or John Elway. But now to see Calvin Johnson, first ballot Hall of Famer, can't wait to talk to him, be involved with Ford Field. And just think about that relationship dynamic in the past 4 years, how it's changed.
No doubt about
So
it.
happy that he is a Lion officially.
No doubt.
He was always a Lion to us, but he was hurt.
Yeah.
He was hurt, and he's good now.
Really looking forward to getting his perspective on it. And when you just look, we're going to talk about gambling later in the show, but if you just look at two very taboo topics of gambling and where that is, cannabis and where that is now, compared to where these taboo issues were 20 years ago, 10 years ago, how many people went to jail in prison for these two things that are now widely celebrated? You know, it is fascinating to me just how we've turned our mind. And
I don't know if it's good, to be honest with you.
Well, the gambling, the gambling
Gambling's horrible.
is horrible.
It's horrible.
The gambling is horrible, and everybody is taking the gambling money, right?
Yeah.
The sports leagues are taking the gambling money. The networks are taking the gambling money.
The teams.
There is no addiction. There is no public health crisis other than gambling that is celebrated. You watch these commercials. It is well, $5 will give you $2.50. Can you imagine if there was some like, hey, give us $5, we'll give you 100 grams of cocaine.
Right.
If you give us $5, we'll give you a fifth of Tito's or something like like you just don't see it.
No.
I think there was one point over time where the Surgeon General, the Surgeon General of the United States said that Lucky Strike was the safest cigarette for you to smoke.
That's Sammy Maz's cigarette.
You're right. But think about that for a second, right?
Right.
Think about where you were then, decades ago, when the Surgeon General is telling you that Lucky Strike is the safest cigarette to choose.
It had the least tar in it.
Yes,
That's why.
Exactly. And where cigarettes are now, I'm telling you, and there's a list of, and if you want to throw it up, feel free. It's the Joe Populano tweet. It's all of the things that have just happened in the last week with gambling. Not in the last couple of years, but in the last week with gambling. And part of that, and I'll read it to you. Forgive me for a second. I'll just read it to you real quick.
There it is.
Okay. So you've got the NBA integrating the gambling lines and the ability to live bet these games on the League Pass app. You can do that on your TV. Shohei Ohtani accuses the interpreter of stealing $4.5 million for gambling. You've got Cavs
you
coach
guys say no.
JB Bickerstaff. Well, either way, that Shohei Ohtani scandal as a whole.
It's looking crazy. Like, I'm starting to come around, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Starting to come around.
Shohei Ohtani, and then you've got JB Bickerstaff, who says he has had death threats from gamblers because of his rotations late in games, not allowing a player to get his allotted prop bet
on a parlay,
whatever it is, the one-game parlay. You've got Tyrese Halliburton getting screamed at by fans because he feels like a prop. And for those of you that don't know what a prop bet is, it is a side wager that you can bet within a game that doesn't have anything to do with the outcome of a game. And the reason why this has come up is because Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors, a two-way player, by the way, being investigated by the NBA.
He played G League for the Pistons last year.
Major irregularities when it comes to the money of his prop betting. Now, this is a player that on January 26th had an over-under 5.5 point total.
Yeah.
Okay? 4 minutes into the game, so much money bet on the under. 4 minutes into the game, leaves with an eye injury.
Yep.
Couple of weeks later, so much money bet on under 7.5 on his point total.
Yep.
He gets sick and leaves early in the game and never returns. Those two instances were the most money won by bettors in the NBA as a whole on this random player. So you tell me what's worse, gambling or weed?
Now, there's a good chance that Jonte Porter will be expelled from the league. It's going to come. They're going to find out that he is in bed with gamblers or he pulled a fast one. He did it recently, and the word on the street is he is in big trouble.
I think the NBA needs to act fast on this, Ryan and Maz, and the reason why is
especially on a lesser player.
100%, not only a lesser player, but just look at what happened in the NFL over the past 2 years. We're coming up with instance after instance after instance after instance, and we're labeling the NFL. They're the worst in dealing with this gambling situation. The NBA, this is one scenario, maybe two that they have. You get ahead of this now. You expel him from the league if this stuff is true. But if it even leans like it's true, you expel him now, kind of like a situation here in Detroit we'll talk about later. But you expel him now because you don't want people to think what is we know to be true.
More people die by suicide that are gamblers than alcohol and drugs combined.
I bet. Literally.
The amount of players that are growing up in an era, in an age where gambling is celebrated, they don't know Pete Rose's story. They don't know what we learned growing up at all about just if you're in sports, you can't be involved in this. These young players at 18, 19, 25 years old, 26 years old, this is legal and celebrated.
But it's getting to the point now, Ryan, though, where you have multiple instances. You can't tell me that the Jamison Williams situation last year wasn't well known. You can't tell me that Calvin Ridley wasn't well known to other NBA players. All over the NBA, I know they saw it. I know NHL saw it. So I think it's getting to a point now where we have enough examples over a couple-year period where, yes, these professional sports leagues, they haven't done a good job at implementing it in terms of working with these sports bet, in terms of talking to their players. They have not done a good job as well. We can talk till we're blue in the face about Jamison Williams because we know how that situation happened. But with that being said, this is now year 3 and 4, and you've seen instance after, whether it's a coach, whether it's a star player, whether it's just a regular player. We've seen enough instances where you know not to bet in this fashion.
Reese Davis, who I used to really love.
My God.
I used to love this guy. And the last 2 years, he has just gone to me.
Insufferable.
He's a sellout and a suck-up. Just 3 days ago, he goes on the air on ESPN and he says, basically, this bet, you have no way you're
risk-free bet.
It's risk-free bet, he said. When in reality, nothing is risk-free. He had to go backtrack his words and say, well, I was only playing with words. In other words, I meant, of course you could lose this bet. Nothing is guaranteed. But ESPN bets. ESPN, man, is in they're going down the tubes.
And that's another one, man. I don't mean to cut you off. That's another one, Ryan, when we're sitting here talking about these particular things. Remember when we were younger, we turned on ESPN, man. We wanted to see the highlights. We wanted to see the top 10. We wanted to see Barry Bonds. We wanted to see, insert what was going on at that time. LaDainian Tomlinson, Peyton Manning, and the list goes on.
I want to see a good anchor, too.
Yeah, this is true. Stuart Scott, rest in peace.
I want to see a good anchor.
100% Boomer and those guys. Now, when you turn on ESPN, the same 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds that we were, they're telling them to bet. They're telling them how easy it is to bet. And they're connected to their parents' ESPN accounts, their phones, or whatever. It's so easy for it to happen.
Look at SVP and his bets with Stanford Steve
and Greeny and everything like that. And I agree with you, Braylon, and I agree with you 100%. And to get back to what you said, Mads, about Reese Davis, that Reese Davis saying that it was a risk-free bet, saying that something is a guarantee, somebody was going to win by whatever it was. It just goes to show you how naive the public is to the dangers of sports betting and sports betting specifically, and how it can and will ruin the game, how it can and will ruin families. 5 years from now, you're going to see a lot of trouble. You're going to see a lot of trouble from people.
That, right?
Well, I agree with you. I think you could go right now, Maz. I'm just saying, especially 5 years from now. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, expected to be joined by Calvin Johnson, the Hall of Famer. We'll do that next. But first, a message from us here at Wake Up Woodward.
That's right, Wake Up Woodward. It's the all-new morning show here on Woodward Sports. Start your day with Wake Up Woodward Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. live right here on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every morning as they cover all of Detroit's sports talk, banner, and live fan interaction. All right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Hey, Maz, what do you got for me, my friend?
Jack Labrador. Check out it right now. A new way to play rock, paper, scissors. 2 new ways. You got 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. All in this Champions deck. Jack Labrador. Click on that QR code to find out more and how to play it. It's a new way to play rock, paper, scissors. It's the only way to play it. Check it out at, jacklabrador.gg.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports on a Tuesday in the city of Detroit. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. It is a pleasure to be joined now by the Hall of Famer, one of the great Lions of all time, and he's got some exciting news to share with us. The great Calvin Johnson. Calvin, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, guys. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
Calvin,
Calvin.
what's going on, my guy? Fellow receiver to receiver. How you been, fam?
I'm doing good, Braylon. Good to see you, man.
Can't wait to see you at the outing this year, man. It should be a lot of fun.
Braylon said he won your outing last year, Calvin.
I said we.
Oh,
It's
we.
Oh, Rocket
you
Mortgage.
all. Oh, okay.
The Rocket
okay.
Mortgage team. There's no I in team. We won.
Hey,
Yeah,
Calvin,
man. They pulled it out.
Calvin, let me hit you with this. We were just talking about just, how over the years, cannabis, CBD, how you thought about it 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and how you think about it now is completely different. And we have to congratulate you, Primitiv Performance, the official performance partner of Ford Field. I mean, that is such a remarkable thing from where you started in this business to where it is now. Can you just speak to your excitement, how all that came to be?
Yeah, man. I'll just go back to what you were talking about, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. 20 years ago is really like my first experience with cannabis, 10 years ago was really when I was able to, the wolves pulled from over my eyes, and I was able to see, the benefits behind cannabis, the power that's behind the plant, versus the stigma that's out there. And here we are today, over the last 6 years, we've been in this industry. With the goal of just creating innovative products. And we're doing that, and we're still on our way to creating those things and more.
So,
go ahead, Ryan.
So what is this going to look like, Calvin, the partnership with Ford Field? And we have to mention Rob Sims as well, your partner. Just tremendous what you guys have done with that brand.
Friend of the show.
What is this partnership with you and Ford Field going to look like? And we've said his name in the past is kind of bringing you into the fold, but how important was Lions COO Mike Disner involved in this as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. Mike has been huge. Just me coming back to the fold over the course of the last year. He was integral in this process, but it wasn't just him. It had to have buy-in from the organization as well. So we're out here. They see the hard work that we've put in and the products that we've created. And I think they took the step out and created a partnership. With us, and I'm just in this position. I just want to, we're grateful to be in this position. We know it's a privilege to obviously be in the industry that we're in. So, and in turn, being in this position, from that. So it's just exciting, to be able to, accomplish some of the things that we set out in our mission and vision vision and mission a while ago to do, and to see some of those things come to fruition, and the rest of it that we still have it in front of us.
Yo, Calvin, let me give you some respect real quick, man. I think a lot of people don't talk enough about how you were the right way on the field as well, the right way off the field. You did everything the right way, and I think this is another reason why this partnership came to be. But talk about what it means to be in one situation with the Detroit Lions in 1 minute, but then the Detroit Lions, you come to this agreement, and now you're creating something. I'm going to be honest, as a former player just like yourself, I would have never saw something like this, when I first started in 2005. You first started in 2007. Now here we are at the crux of it, and the Detroit Lions and Calvin Johnson are working together in the cannabis space. Just talk about what that means to you, like personally, not necessarily business-wise.
Yeah, personally, it just shows, the long way, and how things can change with time. Over time, the relationship wasn't always the greatest, but at the end of the day, I think there's a mutual respect, for one another, and I think just through conversation, and like I say, time will heal a lot of those wounds, and it's just really at the end of the day, just the conversation from both parties, them reaching out to me and me following up with them, and just the back and forth. There's good people on both sides, so it's hard not to create a win-win there.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. So we're congratulations with that partnership there, Calvin.
Man,
no doubt about it. I wanted to ask you about the Detroit Lions. Obviously, Calvin, how different is it walking in that building now compared to walking in that building 5-10 years ago?
I'm assuming you're talking about the practice facility or the actual stadium,
just the atmosphere of being with this organization, the feel of the organization.
Got you. I'm gonna go to the practice facility because that's where all the work is put in, and I was over there a couple times last year, and I was always a big fan of Dan. Played with Dan. I know the guy that he is, and it was just a matter of time for those guys to buy in. It wasn't last year. It's like the end of the season before, like halfway through, you just see it click for this team, and they kind of went on almost like a little win streak there towards the end of it. And it's just a buy-in, man, from the culture that's being created there. You have all these coaches that have experience. I remember I had a coach that had experience in the league, 13 years of it. And I know what I did. I bought in, and I bought in. I listened to those lessons, and I learned from them, and I was able to, wrap those things around what I was trying to do and creating myself as a player in the league. And you see these guys right here today doing it. They're buying in. And you see stars starting to emerge, young guys starting to emerge into themselves and make a name for themselves. So it's just exciting to see the culture that is, that is creating all this growth over there in the players, or just in the organization as a whole. It's just this.
Talking to first ballot Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson, friend of mine, and friend of the show. Calvin, also just talk about this. How cool is it for Dan Campbell just allow everybody to be how they are? I think that's so much of what we wanted as players and former players that are coaches. You just want to be able to be yourself in that space, and then once you see that, it's a lot of comfortability and it's easier to buy in.
100%. Like you say, when you have a coach that allows you to be yourself, and then the way he allows you to be yourself is just, you come in and you do your job. Then the rest is we're living, we're having a good time. But it all starts with you coming in and being able to do the fundamental thing, and that's just getting the job done day by day. When you do that, then you can have a good time. Then you can live, and you can it gets a little tighter. When those things aren't clicking on all cylinders and you're losing and you're not preparing the way you're supposed to. So 100%, a lot of that starts with Dan and him being a player and having an understanding for that himself.
Hey, Calvin, take us back to NFC Championship Sunday. Lions up 24-3 in that game. We're all watching that game. We can't wait for the clock to strike zero. We're going to the Super Bowl. What were your feelings at 24-3 and how it ended?
Man, I'm gonna tell you this. I was sitting there at halftime. Me and wifey, we had my iPad, her iPad up. One of them had the flight arrangement, the other one had the I couldn't make it out to the game because I had an event that weekend, a watch party. But so I was literally about to hit click. And then something in me just was like, I had a little spark, a little vision there. And I'm not saying I had a vision what was going to happen. I was like, man, I played 9 years in Detroit. But I haven't seen a lot of stuff happen. I've seen a lot of stuff. And the biggest key beyond that was everything said non-refundable. I was like, all right, let me hold on here.
Hey, smart man. Keep that cash in your pocket.
Man, that's the thing in these games, man. You saw how the momentum was. Momentum going to swing at some point. It's just a matter of if you can just retain it after that, and we weren't able to retain it, unfortunately.
How much fuel do you think that gives this team coming into next year?
From my point of view, I saw this team. I saw a huge opportunity this past year because of the way the division looked. I was like, okay, obviously we were in the NFL, so you're going to have to earn it every Sunday. But we don't have no killers at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is gone. Granted, my man Love over there is growing into something himself. Who knows what Chicago's about to do? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Minnesota's about to do, but you never know. They could come in and, it's hard to get a stud out as a rookie, but you never know what moves can be made. So I thought last year was a great opportunity, but seeing them progress through the season, seeing them win tough games, and I really don't care who's on the other side now, because we have a solid quarterback. We got a solid offense. We shore up that defense a little bit, man. I'm excited about going back into this next year and whoever we're playing.
Won't keep you too much longer, but we got to talk about the wide receiver position. You played it, I played it as well, and there's a fellow all-pro wide receiver on the team, number 14, Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I don't want to talk about him right now. Maybe Ryan will jump into that. Number 9 for me is the one I want to talk about. How
it's his birthday today, by the way.
Happy birthday to J-Mo. Happy birthday, J-Mo, 100%. How cool was it seeing, obviously it was in a loss, so you can say take it with a grain of salt, but how cool was it seeing him being able to step up in the big moment, NFC Championship game? He had 2 touchdowns. It's kind of what we've been waiting to see from J-Mo. Seemed like they're starting to take the training wheels off. How big can J-Mo be for this team?
Yeah, man, J-Mo can be huge. You mentioned Amon-Ra. We know he's huge. He's Mr. Consistent for us, but J-Mo can be the X factor for this team. I think we saw it when he first came in. He had those, his first couple catches were like touchdowns or just huge splash plays, and it was like, oh, shoot. And I just think about it, as a rookie, you're like, man, okay, we polished that thing off a little bit right there, man. We might have something good. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm excited for the kid. He had a little bit of some ups and downs, but hopefully, at the end of the day, those are just stepping stones, man. So as long as he's viewing those as such and getting better from those, man, I'm excited about his potential.
All right, Calvin, put your general manager hat on, all right? April 25th, the draft in Detroit. Lions on the clock at 29. They've got 2 more picks in the top 90 as well. Who are you taking? Not who are you taking. What positions are you taking for the Lions?
Oh man, that's tough. Honestly, man, I really do believe defense is gonna win you a championship. Granted, we got Goff. He's played great last year, and I think he's gonna continue to do that. Because we got a great O-line and a great support staff there, but I think you can get somebody key on each level there on the defense potentially. I'm not a GM. I'm not Brad Holmes, but you give me a great defensive somebody inside, defensive tackle or defensive end there. It's another great linebacker or another somebody in the secondary, or maybe a great defensive lineman. And I don't know I don't know the current state exactly. I haven't been following too close, but maybe 2 in the secondary. Just get you some studs back there potentially that can come in, because you can see defensive players have some big impacts in the last couple of years here in the NFL. So I think we can make that happen.
Keyword defense.
Yeah, that's right.
2 wide receivers telling you guys defense is the key. Pay attention.
Hey, I think I always ask you this question, Calvin, but I'm going to ask you again. Your 3 top wide receivers, your favorite 3 wide receivers.
Man, every time.
I don't know if I do it every time, but I'm going to slip
I hate
it in
this
there.
because I always leave somebody out.
I know, but I'm giving you 3 only. Braylon will give you 20. I'm asking you for 3.
Hey, look, man, because there's so many guys that will go, man. I don't want to disrespect anybody.
Exactly. No disrespect. That's just a disclaimer right there. Boom.
That's fine.
Jerry, Randy, and Calvin, let's get out of here. Let's call it a day.
Are you talking about all time, or are you talking about current players?
All time.
Jerry, Randy, and Calvin, let's get out of here.
Be quiet, man. Let him talk.
Sorry, damn.
Yeah, that's really what it boils down to. I don't think you could ever remove Jerry from just his impact, his legacy, the length of time, his play tenure in the league. That's huge. Randy, I wanted to make plays like that. That was part of the inspiration for me to be able to go up and dunk on dudes. So 100% those guys. And obviously there's a lot of other ones that I looked up to growing up, but you can't, yeah, 100%. I'll leave it like that.
Hey, Calvin, let me ask you.
man.
Let me ask you. Braylon mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown. What has made this 4th round pick that was seemingly an afterthought, I think, from a lot of teams? 32 teams passed him over 4 times. 16 wide receivers taken before him, and now he's a top 5, a top 10 receiver in the game. I think top 10 for sure. What makes him so great?
Chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
But it takes more than that. You gotta stack those good days up on top of good days. And that's practice. Because if you could do it there, you could simulate the game in practice, and that's what he does. I see him work out there. When he plays at the same speed in practice, puts in the same energy in practice that he does in the game time. You've already been through what you're going to do in the game. You've been through it obviously physically. Then there's a mental component to it. But he takes care of that Monday through Friday or Saturday, whatever you want to call it, the work week. So on Sunday when he gets out there, he's just flowing. He's in his zone. That's what we see. He's my man playing in his zone. So in order to do that, you got to take care of those buckets during the week, and he does that.
Calvin, final question for you. Have you seen the new uniforms yet? We are expected to get new uniforms. An announcement on April 18th, I believe it is. The draft hat does have a black lion. You have worn the black uniform before. Have you seen the uniform, and would you like to see a return of the Lions black uniform?
Be careful.
No comment, but
Smart.
I will comment on the jersey, man. We haven't. I don't know if we haven't worn it again since my 08 season. I think because we went on 16 that year.
Yes.
Maybe that's why we haven't. maybe that's why we haven't brought it back out. But man, that was the coldest jersey, man. I was so excited to hear that. I'm definitely going to get me one. But I'm excited to bring it back. Hope they go all black. I don't know if they will, but I hope they do all black.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Well, Calvin, we can't thank you enough for your time here on Woodward Sports. And, of course, check out Primitiv as well. Primitiv, the official performance partner of Ford Field. Calvin, thanks so much, my friend.
Appreciate it. Good to see you guys. Hit us
Always,
up at primitivperformance.com. And Braylon, I'm going to hit you up so we get some rounds in this year.
Yes, sir. It'll be fun, man.
Thanks,
Can't wait. Don't
Calvin.
get me too bad, man.
Hey,
I know that's all
Calvin,
you do is golf, man. Don't get me too bad.
If you ever want to come back to the Fox 2 TV studio, too, we can eat those burgers again. Remember that?
That was good. Of course. I might have to take you up on that.
All right. Anytime you're invited. All right. Calvin Johnson, everybody. Thanks so much. Again, check out Primitiv Performance, the official performance partner of Ford Field.
And I think that's one thing that we didn't get a necessary chance to talk to, too. The performance part of Primitiv. Primitiv, it's beyond the cannabis side. It's the things that you put in water to increase performance, to increase blood flow, to increase recovery. Same kind of technology that, other companies were using. You don't need to say their names, but they're now using that as well. So it's not just cannabis. It's not just THC. It's other things, and that's where they're expanding. I think that's where the connect is, too, with the NFL and Detroit Lions. It's not just THC. There are other forms of actually connecting and, for the athletic side of things.
Yeah, it's just wonderful what they've done, and I think they're helping a lot of people too. A lot of people plagued by injuries, a lot of people seeking another way instead of popping, this pill and that pill. This is a safer way.
Yeah.
To have your body recover, and I think they've done so well in the product space of it.
It's very true.
But in the almost more important,
too.
in the communication standpoint of it, teaching people are so unaware. They hear one thing one time, and they think, oh, it's got to be this. No, it's not. This is something that's safe. It's something that people, if you're ailing, should look into. Could be used as a preventative as well. I mean, I think the world of what Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims are doing, they're really helping people, and we can't be happier enough for them. And now with this deal with Ford Field, I think Ford Field putting their stamp on this as well helps broaden the scope of learning about CBD, learning about cannabis, learning about these things as well. So well done all around.
And also, too, the last thing I'll say about it is it's just where the information comes from. A lot of times when there's information coming from a place where you don't want to listen, you're not going to listen no matter how good the information is, no matter what good the product is that they're selling. But when you're Calvin Johnson, and that's why I said it on the air, you've done everything the right way. You've never been in trouble. You're an individual that we can listen to. We know the companies that you work with. It's someone that if he's giving the information now, it's like, I got to listen. I got to sit down and chat because I know Calvin's keeping it from a real space.
I mean, I'm not a CBD guy. I don't go out and go for it. None of that. I'm not against it.
You don't
either.
go for it?
I don't go for it.
CBD
I'm just saying.
Yeah, CBD is
if I was going to do it,
if
I want to do it, I'm going to go to Calvin and Rob and D-Mac.
Right.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust those guys.
They put the work in, right?
Of course.
Yeah, they put
I mean,
the work in.
look what they've done in their careers, and if they're saying that this product is helping them and help them get through, what more do you need?
Right.
What more do you need?
Nothing.
Hall of Famer telling you about it?
Absolutely. And how it's impacted his body and his recovery. Yeah, I'd go with that, too.
I should probably do that after bowling every week,
You
right?
should do that. You'd be surprised, man.
I bet.
That's perfect.
Maybe I can get that 300.
That is perfect.
I'll be honest, and this is not talking about Calvin, so this has nothing to do with Calvin, but I remember playing Ryan Ermanni. Like, I wasn't one to dibble and dabble in marijuana or cannabis until later. This is when I retired. This is when I first started using. But in the league, a lot of guys were smoking cannabis
Absolutely.
before games in the morning, early or before practice, and you look and you're like, hey, this. And then you see how they perform, and you see how they're directed and they're guided. It's kind of like it's more so like an Adderall, and that which is legal. You do that, and man, you see it, and I'm like, I couldn't do it.
Right.
And now you're watching the people, and now you're watching everybody, and now you're watching how it's happening now, man.
What does it have to do with Adderall?
Well, it's a focuser, though. Like people that struggle from anxiety or people that struggle from forms of that, then that's why you take Adderall. It condenses and it focuses you on a particular task. When you're looking at a task, you focus on it. It's like whether I'm trying to come up with a show, i.e. you, I can focus on the show. I can focus on every angle of the segments or whatever, where I'm trying to focus on, Ryan Ermanni, et cetera. It's the same thing with some forms of cannabis, sativa-wise. It focuses you. It takes away the anxiety. So when you go into a game, you're very relaxed, you're very chill, and it's an organic way to take the anxiety or the edge off. 100%.
Great stuff.
Man. Good man.
All right, guys, let's take a break. Come back, talk more NFL. Dan Campbell spoke to the media today as well at the owners' meetings in Orlando, Florida. More on that, some rule changes as well. But first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, fellas, Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Dive into the fish and chips, their new Parmesan-crusted cod, the perfectly fried clam strip platter, and a Big Boy must, the brand new mango iced tea, the ultimate compliment with the shrimp Alfredo, the popcorn shrimp. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy. And don't forget, every Friday night, it's the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You got to expand. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They've got those two brands now, and that store located on Woodward Avenue in the great city of Ferndale. Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. If you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. So a Buick GMC in Ferndale, Chevy Cadillac in Dearborn, always online 24/7. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive, baby. And of course, let's get a haircut. How about that?
I've got Lady Jane's.
A 1 p.m. haircut tomorrow.
Oh, good.
With Becca. Get that hot lather neck
We'll see
shave.
you at what, 159?
You'll see me at 158.
158.
Yep.
Okay.
158.
All right.
Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Be able to give the city and really everybody something that has not been done in a long time. And we were able to check that box, and it took every one of us to get that done. And that's including
Oh, he can hear. No, play it. Go back and play it.
Special time. But we also know it's unfinished business. So that's what keeps me from going back too far here and patting ourselves on our backs and all that. Is just, man, we've got a hurdle that we've got to overcome.
Yeah, and that's Dan Campbell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Dan Campbell sitting there talking about the hurdle that is getting to the next round, man, and talking about not being able to rest on what they did last year. I've talked about it. Like, I've been in that situation with the New York Jets twice. We got to the AFC Championship. We did not get a chance to get to the Super Bowl either time. But the first time, it made us more hungry. We came back. We changed certain things that we did. It gave us a fire in our belly. And I think that's what Dan Campbell's ultimately, Ryan, talking about in this video. Just the fire in the belly. You know it's not going to be easy to get back. You know you guys are in a better position than last year. But you believe in yourself. You believe in the team. And when you do that and you work hard in the offseason, you have an opportunity to get back to where you were. And when you sign a couple people like the Lions have, maybe that opportunity is to be further than you were.
Dan Miller had that interview, of course, on Fox, too.
Absolutely. He's got a lot of stuff coming out. Yep. Dan Miller is there covering the owners' meetings today. Later today on Fox News at 5 and 6, you'll see his interviews with Brad Holmes, Lions general manager. We'll have that tomorrow. But he talks to the Lions general manager today. You could see that later.
He talked to Rod Wood, too.
Absolutely. Talked to Rod Wood as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. I do want to get his take on the new hip drop rule, okay? The new hip drop tackle has been banned, and a lot of defensive players are saying, you got to help us out. Some people believe this is going to add to a lot of injuries for the defensive side of the ball. How is a defensive back going to tackle Derrick Henry? What is he going to do?
I'm afraid they're going to throw a flag, and they don't know what the hell a hip drop is.
You allow more discretion from the referee now.
Yeah. That's the last thing they needed.
Absolutely. This is going to be more problems than it's worth from my perspective. But do we have Dan Campbell's? Dan Campbell, here he is on the hip drop.
Here's my thing is I understand when you see the clips they show of the hip drop, it's the worst of the worst. It's the absolute worst. And so I understand that. That's what – and you don't want anybody to get hurt that way. And you're out of season. You're out 7 weeks, 8 weeks. But also, man, from a defensive perspective, you know, my job is to tackle this man and get him down as fast as possible. And that does that. And so to me, I would rather have kind of educated. Let's educate. Let's find a better way. Let's tinker with the rules in training camp to where we can do more work that way, to work on tackling. But you know, it wasn't going to go there. You know, because it is. When you show those clips, it's a vicious tackle, and people get hurt.
And Braylon, I believe the numbers were something along the lines of in 2023, there were 235 or 6 hip drop tackles. There were 15 injuries on those 236 tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's like any other rule. I think as a referee, the way I would look at this rule, Maz, the way I look at it was told to me as by the NFL, just look for the severe ones. Like, look for the ones where you know that they can.
But that's a problem, Bray.
Because
other coaches are going to say that's a hip drop. Why didn't you throw a flag?
I understand that, but there are levels to this. Like the 15 that you saw last year, the 15 that they've seen, the ones you repeatedly see over, whether it's Tony Pollard or et cetera, you can tell, Maz, that like that's something where they're focusing on it. It's something where you can help that situation. Look, there's a 15-yard penalty. That is a penalty on that play. Some of them you say, hey, you know, you got to move on. It's just like gray area with anything else in the NFL. But I think there are certain ones where you can look at them and say, this guy, in terms of how he purposely dropped his weight on the situation, it led to a direct injury of sorts. That's why you vet it this way.
I got to say, man, as a guy that's been watching for a long, long time, to me, that looks like a legal tackle to me.
Right.
Illegal or illegal?
It's legal.
Legal.
It's
okay,
legal.
yeah.
Legal.
That's a legal tackle to me. That's a tackle. No one's trying to hurt the guy. He's just trying to corral the guy. How do you bring Derrick Henry down if you're a 180-pound guy? Right.
Like if you catch him from behind, you're going to.
But it's legal.
Right. You're going to wrap your head.
Right. It's like roping a calf.
Or you're going to try to dive now and slap his legs or something?
Derrick Henry is also not the same Derrick Henry he was 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, just using him as
forget about the individual player. I think the point is like when you have a 180-pound defensive back and some bigger tight end, let's say.
Listen, at the end of the day, I understand. I understand the outrage, especially when you're so hung up on the past, how things used to be and what things were. I get it 100%. I told you, a lot of the rules that they lobby for as it relates to helping offensive players, I don't necessarily agree with. I don't agree with flag football. I didn't grow up playing flag football. I was playing tackle in the street when I was 11, 12 years old. That's how we grew up. So I understand that. But at the same time, when you see consistent injuries over the years as it relates to this particular type of tackle, like this one I'm in favor of.
Dan Campbell said, let's teach them. Not penalize them.
Right.
Let's teach them. Don't do this.
Yeah, but we've been trying to teach people for the last.
Don't hit with a helmet.
We've been trying to teach people the last 12 years how to not hit with a helmet. And how's that going? We still can't get that call right.
Well, that's so hard.
I agree.
So hard to do.
I agree. We still can't get that one right. I just think, I don't know, man.
I know they're trying to make the game safer.
Yeah,
I'm all for trying to make the game safer.
It's going to be like South Park, sarcastic ball.
It's just it's going the wrong way when you let these 60-year-old, 70-year-old guys in pajamas throw a flag anytime they want. It's not the game I want to watch.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, John Hughes in the chat says, where did they get that stat? Which person watched all the film over how many years?
Right.
And
get paid to do that.
And when the NFL is trying to change a rule or anybody's trying to change, you better believe somebody's watching every tackle. That's just like tackling high, head-to-head collisions. They have stats on that. It's part of analytics. That's like saying in baseball, John, what do you mean how many times did the guy throw a slider and his bat exit velo was or the spin rate?
Oh,
I mean,
exit velo.
The spin rate is so many times, whatever. I mean, they have stats for everything, John.
Oh, God. It makes me sick.
We do appreciate the chat, by the way. Marvin Strong, Ryan reads the chat sometimes. I was actually very surprised when he read my comment out loud one time when I disagreed with him. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. Joseph Osteen, haha. Ermanni works for Fox. Structured and professional is not what they do. It's right-wing entertainment. I mean, some guys, they just hate for no reason.
For no reason.
You know?
I mean, why bring that up?
But I'm sure you everything that MSNBC says is the absolute fact and truth according to
I don't watch
Joseph.
either, so I don't know.
Well,
what
I mean,
you're
I'm
talking
just
about.
saying. He takes one thing.
That's fine.
Whatever, Joe.
I watch
Who
games.
cares? Or whatever your name is. It's fine.
I don't give a damn.
Also, new kickoff rule, okay?
Wow, this is a beauty.
So, do we have the kickoff rule video?
We have everything.
I understand, but I'm just trying to help it along.
What do you want first?
I want the kickoff, like what it actually will look like.
So a 10-second video.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Here's what it's going to look like.
Here's what it will look like. The
kicker
XFL
just kicked off.
kickoff.
The kicker kicked off from his own 35.
So
once the ball hits the 20-yard line, you can go.
Right. And if it goes into the end zone, I believe you get it at the 35-yard line. So you don't want to kick it into the end zone.
Well, you'll hear because I've got Jeff Darlington is going to explain
Jeff Darlington is going to explain
perfectly. Listen to this, guys, and you will now know what the kickoff rule is all about.
The National Football League wants to juice things up while still pursuing their continued desire to improve safety on the game's most dangerous play, the kickoff. Two major rule changes at this year's annual league meetings are being considered. The first and most significant, the NFL is considering adopting the kickoff rules used by the XFL after the NFL saw kick returns on just 22% of kickoff in 2023. Under the new rule, the kicker would remain in his normal spot. The rest of the kickoff team would line up on the receiving team's 40-yard line, and the receiving team would line up 5 yards away on their 35-yard line. Nobody would be allowed to move past those lines until the ball is touched or reaches the target zone, the area from the 20-yard line to the goal line. The next proposal would also impact the kickoff. After only 5.2% of onside kicks were recovered in 2023, and just 2 surprise onside kicks, the competition committee is looking for some give and take. The new rule would allow the kicking team to utilize an unbalanced formation, with 6 players on one side of the kicker and 4 on the other to raise the odds of a recovery. But in order to do so, the kicking team would be required to declare their intentions of an onside kick before the play. That's necessary since that other kickoff proposal has a new setup zone. As a result of these proposals, touchbacks could also change. If the ball is kicked into the end zone, the receiving team gets it at the 35-yard line. If the ball is kicked into the target zone and rolls into the end zone, the receiving team possession would start at the 20-yard line. If all this feels a little complicated, you're not alone. It isn't easy to create more action with less injuries. But if these proposals end up being passed, it's because
this is the XFL kickoff
Correct.
rule.
The
UFL didn't even adopt, but this is the XFL.
I already know there's going to be errors on the kicks in the end zone because they're going to say if a ball goes in the end zone in the air, you get it at the 35. But if it rolls in from the 20-yard line into the end zone, you're getting it at the 20 if you don't want to return it. Who's to say when these referees are going to say it actually went into the end zone? They're going to say, oh, it didn't break the plane or something. I could just see them effing this up like they always do something. They're going to do something wrong, and it, of course, will affect the Lions.
Too, but they did get this right, and this is why they get it right. We talked about this. I told you when Devin Hester went in, I said, look, I miss the way it used to be in terms of being able to return kicks. It's a part of the game. Field position is a part of the game. You score more touchdowns when you have better field positions. When it's a shorter distance to get in the end zone, you have a better chance of scoring a touchdown. I think that is something that you miss. And also, you missed that play. I mean, hell, we had Mel Gray here in Detroit. We had Desmond Howard here in Detroit at one point. It's a great play for the NFL. And now the fact that they only make them 5 yards apart, you're not having guys come from, the 50-yard line or the opposite 40 to where they have a running start, where they can be able to build up some of that momentum, which is why they limited the kickoffs in the first place. You got guys only 5 yards away. That gives those dudes waiting for them, it gives them enough strength to be able to block them and create a lane for it to open up and maybe have a couple touchdowns. I mean, especially with guys like Khalif Raymond back there sitting, you might have a couple touchdowns.
Hey, Blake in the chat had a same thing that I thought of. How are they going to know when the ball crosses the 20 so they could go? Who's going to judge when the ball actually goes over the 20? They're all standing next to each other 5 yards apart. Who on that line is going to judge when the ball – the one guy could say, I saw it, this went over the 20. And the ref's going to say, the offsides. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know.
You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. If you're standing at the 40-yard line, how do you know when the
know
ball
when it's going over
actually
the
crosses the 20-yard line, right?
The guy at the end's going to think, it's over.
Maybe a referee will raise his hand.
Perhaps.
You know what I mean? If the referee's standing at the 20 and you raise your hand, kind of like, if for a quarterback, the back judge will start going like this, 5, counting you down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So maybe that'll be a hand signal.
I hope so.
And you might consider who is back there to receive the kicks now, too.
Yeah.
If you're not going to get blown up, maybe you put J-Mo back there. Maybe you put your fastest guy back there and say, hey, here you go. Here's a 20-yard head start.
Dan Campbell's big in favor of this.
Yeah.
Big time in favor of this. As a matter of fact, we've got the sound to prove it.
Yeah, actually, absolutely in favor of it because it gives us a chance to play special teams, And, what happened last year really, you felt like that took a significant amount of plays out of the game, and those were from special teams, and you don't make it up really anywhere else. So, we put an emphasis on it. So I believe in it, and I think the arguments for you're bringing more plays back in, so now injuries could. Because you are more plays, but it feels like what we've done with it. It's been so condensed that the impact is out of it. It doesn't mean there won't be an injury, and so I think what's got a lot of people spooked a little bit is the unknown of it, and that's what excites me. Like. Phip and I have already been back there talking about, we're watching all these XFL clips and you're looking at different body types and you're looking at returners and you're looking at scheme. And so I think that's the unknown is what the coaching's for, like to mess with it. You tinker with it and you figure out what's the best way to do it. How do you do it? And so I'm excited about it. I hope it goes through today. We'll see.
Is it some opportunity?
And it did go through, obviously. That was earlier before the rule change was adopted. And, the NFL and they did it with the extra points a couple of years ago. The NFL doesn't want anything to be automatic. If anything is automatic, they try to change it. The kickoff was an automatic touchback. They wanted to change it. Now they hope to get more action in the game. The onside kick was an automatic recovery. Only, I think, 5% of onside kicks in last year were recovered.
If you remember the years prior to that, they used to allow the team
line,
to have an unbalanced line.
Right.
So they're basically saying, we'll let you have 6 over here now and 4 over here, which is unbalanced, but not like it used to be.
Yeah.
And you have to tell the other team, pardon
no more
me,
surprise.
excuse me,
right.
we're gonna do an onside kick.
Right,
here.
no more surprises.
Yeah, we can't surprise you because we got to move the.
But
kick
again,
back.
the idea is to legislate the automatic play out of the game. That's really what it is.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's a fan of the old game. Like, he's an older player, I myself included. You want to see some resemblance of the older game, but you're not in favor of the changes. I think the NFL also they just want to make sure that you can score points in this game. Anything that's not in favor of scoring points, anything that's not in favor of getting those points higher so people are tuning in, watching these games. What is it, 43 was the average points a game last year?
Yeah.
And it's down from 49. 43 isn't a lot of points. You start to see these teams that you like. You're tuning in to Patrick Mahomes, and you're not seeing it. You're tuning in to Josh Allen.
They had an off year.
Very true. Last couple years.
Terrible offensive year.
Yeah, but you dial in and you're not seeing it anymore. Like, that's one of the things the NFL was selling when they kind of took this meteoric rise, is selling the offensive game. You're selling these points. You got to keep it going in that direction.
So the onside kick, can you still pooch it over them?
You could do whatever you want, probably. How you do the onside kick, how you actually kick the football, you could do whatever you want, I would assume. Find the empty spot.
I think I would. I would pooch it over.
Is there an onside kick though? I don't think there is.
What?
Is there not an onside kick anymore?
No, there is. They just updated the rules.
It.
Okay.
You're allowed to put 6 players on one side, 4 on the other.
So
you got to tell the team.
Guys, we'll take a break. More Lions talk, more NFL. So much NFL to get to, guys. Great stuff, too. We'll do it next. But first, the message from Pete Spotted.
Gotta get it up. There it is. There she is. That's right. If you're tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch, it's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com and click on shop. The hoodies, tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com and click on shop. But also, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news is insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party, it's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp alfredo, or shrimp stir-fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Hey guys, join Woodward Sports as we party live from downtown Detroit for the Tigers home opener coming up on Friday. You know it. We'll be next Friday. We'll be broadcasting starting at 8 a.m. from the Grand Slam Fest, the biggest party in Detroit. Over 4,000 party people going to be there. Win your tickets now. I'm giving away a pair of tickets to the chat. I'm going to pick the winner in the chat. Not the first one, but someone that I think is a real nice person. No, actually, we're going to just pick it out of the hat. Like the stream right now and comment Grand Slam Fest. I want to see Grand Slam Fest in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to tell, anyone that's on the sheet here, anyone that's in the chat is in the hat. Okay, there you go. We will select one winner to come to opening day, and that is April the 5th at the Detroit Opera House parking lot right next door to Comerica Park. Or you can buy your tickets right now at GrandSlamFest.com. Let's go, chat. Let's see who's going to be the winner today.
Shake Shack and Woodward Sports want to remind you, it is always football season. How would you like to win 2 tickets? That's right, 2 tickets to the Detroit home opener. You're talking about the Detroit Lions and Kings in the North. 2 tickets to the opener for this season. Man, sign me up. Look at the QR code on the screen right now. Scan that QR code. It will allow you to register, or you can go to woodwardsports.com. There will be a handle for you to go, a link for you to click, and then you can also register that way. Register today for your chance to win at any Shake Shack possible at woodwardsports.com, or once again, scan the QR code. It is the Shake Shack QB Challenge with Woodward Sports.
I feel like as far as the preparation of it, it's very much like we've done before, and I don't think we really have. Since we've been here, we've really, draft the best player available. Don't let we absolutely have to have a linebacker. We absolutely have to have. Don't let that. Just go for what you believe is going to fit your team and what you feel like is the best player at the time. And I don't think this year's any different. I think what's unique is those, first 2-3 years. Well, we did have a lot of holes, so it just naturally here we go. That worked out because we needed, you got 8 holes. Your odds are pretty good. You're going to get a guy that's going to fill a hole. Whereas now we feel it's not. Look, every team in this league's got warts, and I say it all the time. No matter how good you are, you've got areas that you are always going to want to be able to improve in. Nobody's a perfect roster, but we're the best we've been in 4 years, and we feel like. We've got a lot of those holes filled, and so this kind of feels like the first draft we're going in, and we're still best player available, but we've got, we've kind of got places taken care of going into the draft, which is that's pretty cool.
How about that? I mean, it's so well said. Dan Campbell loves the roster that he has, and that was earlier today at the owners' meetings, but loves I should say the NFL meetings. Used to be called the owners' meetings. Now I think it's called the NFL meetings. But loves the roster that he has. But look, there are holes, and you think you are okay at quarterback, so you don't have to worry about quarterback. You think maybe you're okay at linebacker.
Yeah.
But you'll just take the best player available. That's the draft strategy of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I think when you've done it the way the Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done over the past 3 years, they've done it the right way. They've built this franchise up from the ashes. We talk about all the time, 3-13-1, 9-8, and last year they were 12-5. They built it up the right way. They've built it up to now where you're good, you have less holes. When you have less holes, Ryan and Ermanni, we've talked about it, not nauseam, but we've talked about it a lot in the last 3 weeks. You're now, or 2 weeks, you're not excited for what the pick is at 29. The pick can be a multitude of things because of what you've done as free agency in terms of the defensive line, in terms of what you've done in the secondary. It can be a multitude of things. So I think that's what he's talking about now. But also, too, the best available player, but the thing I'm challenged the Detroit Lions to do this year, if the best available player may not be a saint, if you will, if he may not be as squeaky clean as Planet Fitness gyms are, if you think that there's a fit where that individual could come here and become a Detroit Lion player, then you can pull the trigger and let that individual become a Detroit Lion player because you got the right guys in the bullpen. And I know that's a baseball term, but you got the right guys in the bullpen, the right guys in the locker room to bring it back full circle, to get that guy to be right. You don't have to just necessarily choose the guy that's the squeaky cleanest that fits. Sometimes there's a player there for you that you just make a Detroit Lion guy. That's all I ask.
Here's where I'll say I would agree with you.
What?
Until what just happened with Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
I think what happened with Cam Sutton was a little bit out of left field and a little bit like it gave the Lions whiplash a little bit. And I'm not sure they take a shot on a questionable guy.
Right.
And I think dating back now, if you hear some of the things that I've talked to a couple of people now that have said something happened in the middle of last year that Cam Sutton completely changed. He changed how he was in the locker room. He changed how his personality was walking into the building. He started to play terrible on the field. Something changed.
His girl was pregnant.
So, that now is all coming to a head. And Dan Miller caught up with Rod Wood at the NFL meetings, and Rod Wood shared his side of the story from the perspective on the Detroit Lions regarding Cam Sutton.
We learned about the warrant the same time everybody else did on social media, and we were able to speak to Cam because he was actually in our building. And we found him. He was down with our strength staff. He kind of showed up unexpectedly to work out. We were able to talk to him in person, not me, but others, members of the staff. And he left the building, and we released him the next day, and no one has spoken to him since.
You indicated that you urged him to seek counsel and to turn himself in. Did you get an indication of whether or not he was going to do that?
Since I didn't talk to him firsthand, I don't know what he told the others, but that's what we advised him to do, and what he's done is kind of up to him at this point.
And we appreciate Dan Miller for that soundbite. This is Rod Wood talking about the day in which they found out about the Cam Sutton situation. Cam Sutton actually had been in the facility, man, as you brought up earlier, kind of similar to the Aaron Hernandez thing, how he came and got a workout in and actually ran into Robert Kraft. He had the conversation. And I did get a chance to finally see that on Dynasty. And he said, look, it changed the way that I view people.
Yeah.
It was a major thing. I did get a chance to see the Bill Belichick glitch. Finally, we'll talk about that. But just going back to the situation, it seems like the situation is gaining legs. The Lions may have known a little bit more than they led off to. It still goes back to what I think Maz and you were talking about. Situation didn't have to be as dire as it was, but now in which you're on the run or you're on the flee or you won't turn yourself in, now it's just gotten worse and worse for Cam Sutton. And you're right. And maybe that situation is one of those ones where, you got people like myself that are lobbying for the Lions to maybe take a chance on a guy and, use the atmosphere or use the integrity in the locker room of what they've built in Allen Park to make this guy a better player, to make this guy a Detroit Lions guy. And it seems like they may have tried that with Cam Sutton and it didn't work. So this may just leave a full bad taste in their mouth as it relates to trying things like that.
I don't know. I just don't know what this guy is thinking about. I mean,
is he with Diddy?
That's
what I want to know.
You didn't kill anybody. What are you doing? You're at your team facility, and the people that pay you say, listen, we'll help you out. Turn yourself in right now. Do the right thing. And then he just disappears. And, Rye, you called the sheriff's department a few times and worry if something happened to Cam, his health, and they're like, no, nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened to him.
Yeah.
He just turned out to be a flat-out bum. That's what it's turning out to look like.
I think also, too, man, it's like in these situations, and this isn't me speaking from experience, so let's not let that be assumed. This is just kind of watching situations play out over time and having an opinion on them. I think sometimes you're put in a situation where you react, you snap, and that's the word I just wrote down, snap. You snap, and when you snap in that moment, you become somebody that you're not at all, somebody that you may not be. And I think after you make those actions or you do things in that moment, when you come to, you can't recognize the person that did that, and so it scares you. And listen, this is not me making.
I say you snap initially, fine,
right,
but not 3 weeks later. At some point, over 3 weeks, you've got to eventually do the right thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Deal with the repercussions of what's going on. Yeah.
Right, like I don't know.
Even AB turns himself in once in a while.
Right.
Crying out loud.
Right.
Well, let him tell it's never his fault. So.
But I mean, in the moment, sure. You
it's a month.
That's what I'm saying. It's March 7th here. In the moment, sure, you run, cops are coming, you run, whatever. Okay. Now it's time to do the right thing. But I do think, just full circle to end up to finish this topic, because this situation just happened with Cam Newton, I think Cam Sutton, excuse me, Cam Sutton.
There he is throwing Cam Newton under the bus.
Right. Cam Newton catching straight.
Oh,
but also to your
it's
point,
always someone else.
It's always a double. It's a double down too, Ryan Ermanni, because you look at it from Cam Sutton. This is a free agent move they made, and it didn't work out necessarily. Maybe they knew some things and they overlooked it. But also too, you have Jalen. I can't think of his name anymore, and I wanted him as the 6th pick overall.
Jalen Carter.
Now you have Jalen Carter, another situation. You looked at how it played out in Philly over last year, and it's like the Lions look like they dodged a bullet in drafting him. Seems like the Lions are maybe right in terms of not wanting.
What, did he get in trouble?
Some more things came out about him too throughout the season last year. Yeah, some more things came out. I mean, nothing damning, but
I'll tell you, when he was on the field, he looked pretty good.
I know he's still a defensive player.
Hey, a guy that you thought the Lions would not want back.
I saw that.
Is a guy that Brad Holmes really wants back. And it's the wide receiver, the guy that dropped a couple of passes in the NFC Championship game. And they want him back, and it's Josh Reynolds. He's like, I'm sorry we haven't gotten a deal done with him yet. He was on our list because you heard them. They are so happy with the free agent class they got. You hear Brad Holmes, how happy?
Yeah.
We'll hear him tomorrow.
Said it's the best free agent class he's ever got.
That he's ever gotten. But he says, I'm missing Josh Reynolds.
I look at it like this. Yeah, he's probably missing Josh Reynolds. And look, we started here. When Josh Reynolds got to the Detroit Lions in 2021, Jared Goff started to have some success. Jared Goff started to feel comfortable, and it looked a lot better. He's made some big catches for the Lions, and most notably, they're usually all first downs, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
They're either first downs or touchdowns. But with that being said, those 2 drops that he had in an NFC Championship game when they were on their way to the Super Bowl, and it's not all his fault. There were some calls from a lot of different people. But the fact that they haven't done a deal, if it's that high priority, as he say, if it's still a priority, like he says, then it would have got done already. The problem now, I believe, is the money, and I believe that Josh Reynolds wants money like the position calls for. You said up to $8 million is what Josh Reynolds is looking to get, maybe 7.5, somewhere in that market. Well, if I'm Brad Holmes and I'm looking at it from a standpoint of the drops in the big game and what you did, I want you back, but I don't want you back at $8 million. I want you back at 5.8, 6. So I think that's the discrepancy right now. It's money.
Well, it's clearly money because if they wanted them it's clearly about money, and that's fine. I wouldn't mess around over $1.5 million, to be honest with you.
Where did he fly out last week too? Visited.
I know what you're talking about.
Anybody
I forget.
Here? Remember?
No, I forget.
Okay.
Atlanta? No, not Atlanta. No. Either way, we could find out. But
the Shadow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Maz, let's go around the NFL.
I thought we did. Oh, here we go. We'll continue to go around.
What the hell is happening here?
We'll continue to go around the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked about the NFL kickoff, which has changed. We're going to talk about the trade deadline, which is now being moved from the end of Week 7 to the end of Week 8. That rule proposal has been accepted today at the NFL owners meetings or the NFL meetings.
Not to cut you off, Maz, was it the Ravens that you were thinking about?
Yes.
Maybe the Ravens.
Yes, it was in Baltimore.
Yep.
It was Baltimore. So the trade deadline goes back a week. Hell, to me, they can go back more than that. Week 8, I don't think is enough.
Yeah.
To play 17, 18 weeks.
I know.
Make it Week 10.
Well, it feels like after Week 9, right? Is it after Week 9?
Yes.
So you've got essentially 2 months with your new team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Week 10 through 17. That feels appropriate.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you'd be with your team for Week 10. That feels appropriate.
All right.
You know?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're adding these games on 17 games now. You want to give them the most opportunity to be with their franchise, give them a little extra time. So you give them a little extra time in terms of picking players up, but also you're still giving them that allotted time. Because I think that was a big thing, too. Like when I got traded to the Jets in 2009, one of the big things is I had a lot of time, Ryan and Maz, to learn Mark Sanchez, to learn the offense that we were putting in.
It's not baseball either.
Nah,
you can't just show up and swing a bat. I mean, you have to learn, the plays, learn your teammates, stuff like that. So I think that's a good thing.
Here's something that I personally love. Move over, NBA. You've got company.
Who is that?
The NFL is going to continue to play a doubleheader on Christmas Day. Guess when Christmas is this year?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. You will have football Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday will be college football. Sunday and Monday.
So this is Field Yates put up the schedule of Christmas week. December 25th, there'll be an NFL game. 26th, there'll be an NFL game. 28th, 29th, 30th, NFL games. On the 31st, you're going to have the college football quarterfinals. On January 1st, you have the college football quarterfinals as well. That is what the week between Christmas and New Year's will look like. How about that?
But Christmas Day on a Wednesday, you will have a doubleheader. And then the regular Thursday night game. Friday, I think they'll play. It's Black Friday. They'll play that. Oh, no, Black Friday's prior to that.
No, they do play that, though. But the NFL doesn't do anything for not being a future standard. You look at the first time they did a Thursday game. You look at the first time they did Black Friday. It was, we'll do Black Friday. Now Black Friday is a thing. Now Christmas is about to be a thing. You're going to look up because they're going to add that 18th game, Ryan. They're going to add that 18th game, and now what happens? You're going to have football Sunday through Saturday. You're going to have NFL football, I promise you, at some point in the next 3 years.
Not Tuesdays.
I
That's the only day of the week there's no NFL game this year.
Because you can practice. Yeah, you need something. But like Maz, there's already, like Ryan said, 6 days a week already. And that 18th game hasn't been added yet.
It's unreal.
You going to compete with Maction on a Tuesday?
Maction's moving a lot of their games back to the regular games.
They should.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Especially the rivalries.
To have Toledo and Bowling Green play on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night?
That's a Saturday now.
I know it's a Saturday now, but For the last decade, it's been a Tuesday or Wednesday night. That's a crime.
It is.
It's
Here's
crime.
also another crime. The Eagles are going to have their Friday night opener this year. Usually, you open on Thursday. This year, it'll be a Friday game in Brazil.
They're not doing Thursday?
On Peacock.
And it's Peacock only, correct?
Yeah, Peacock only, exclusively on Peacock.
Exclusively on Peacock.
So remember last year we had the NFL opener, Lions and Chiefs on NBC. Everybody's so excited about it, and people will be excited about this too as we get closer in NFL. But to play this game, Eagles, and we don't know who yet, but the Eagles will open up on, because the schedule release hasn't been named yet, but the Eagles in Brazil on a Friday on Peacock exclusive. It's just like, what are you doing?
Who
Who are you trying to impress? What are you doing?
I fear this is the NFL trying to keep up with the NBA. Look, the NFL is ahead of the NBA as it relates to revenue in terms of TV deals, et cetera, et cetera. But the NBA is in every market. They're moving more and more around the country, around the world. And I think this is the NFL around trying to keep up with them. Like Brazil, why are we going to Brazil? Who are the people that we're trying to coerce to watch the NFL?
Maybe the Brazilian women.
That are going to help the market out down there. They got two sports, volleyball and soccer. Like what? I don't get it. I don't get this one. How are the field conditions going to be?
They'll be good.
Yeah, I don't care about the field as much as I care the fact that it's on Peacock.
Yeah.
I hate streaming only games.
Opening weekend will be Thursday. Opening
money,
weekend is going to be Thursday night, be a Friday night, then the regular Sunday and Monday.
And again, I hate streaming only games because you can't click out. You're forced to watch all the commercials. If you want to click out, it's like that little circle comes
I'll tell
in.
you, man,
then do you want to watch live or do you want to watch a star? Do you want to get out of here,
Do you think they get more money, streaming companies, from advertisers because of that?
They get
can't
subscribers.
Turn off?
It's subscribe.
I know, but Peacock NBC has got to be getting more money from their advertisers to put it on only a streaming. When back in the day, you had a choice, streaming or this. Now you only got, this is the channel NFL people have to watch. And they have to watch your commercials.
Yeah.
And also, it's tough. I told you about my situation last year with the Michigan game with Peacock. I went to establishment.
I hated that.
Went to establishment with my friend and we were hanging out, and I couldn't. They didn't have it at the restaurant that we were at, or the bar that we were at. So then I said, okay, I got it on my phone. I'll just flip my phone up, watch it as we're doing whatever. Well, I got 4 people using my Peacock account. So when I tried to use it, they wouldn't allow me to use it. It said maximum accounts were used already. I'm like, or maximum devices. That's not fair. Like,
You're right. Everybody's using Peacock.
Right. I'm like, can I have my? Yeah. Anyway, you're right.
Ryan, I'm telling you, man, you should be applauded in the national media because your guy J.J. McCarthy is like this close to being the first quarterback taken in the NFL. He is already moving up now from Tom Pelissero's mouth to our ears to Washington at number 2. Pete, let him hear it.
Really interesting because everybody's always trying to figure out, especially at the top of the draft, what the other teams are doing. When I've had conversations here with executives for other teams who know Adam Peters well, know the situation well, the most popular answer for what they do at number 2 is J.J. McCarthy. So a lot of drama.
Washington Commanders, it looks like, by all intents, they are going to take J.J. McCarthy at number 2, meaning the Vikings and the Giants have no chance to get him.
I don't know, man. Look, I'll tell you exactly as I have seen it playing. I don't want to say I told you so because the player
well, you did
hasn't
already,
been picked
and you
yet.
deserve to.
I think I do deserve to here, and I will also say that not just the fact just throwing out a prediction, but every step along the way as to why he would rise up these draft boards is happening. You get around this kid for 30 seconds and you want him around you. You talk about a leader of men. This is J.J. McCarthy. Last night there was a shot of Caleb Williams at the USC women's basketball game. And Caleb Williams is dancing to this song, and you could see his painted fingernails, and a pink phone. And if you juxtapose that in an NFL locker room with J.J. McCarthy talking about winning only, I don't care about my stats. All I just want to do is win. Well, I handed the ball off 38 times. I don't care. I don't need to throw. Yeah, I've thrown 22 touchdown passes in 15 games. We didn't need me to throw. We didn't have to force it. Just wanted to win. 15-0 national champion. That sells. That sells in the NFL.
It also helps that you have Jim Harbaugh doing what he's doing on the media circuit as well. Really saying he got his guy. He's got his guy to be the number 2 quarterback taken.
And somebody said, dating back to when Colin Kaepernick was drafted in the 2nd round, and I don't remember who this was.
2011.
2011. But I don't remember when this was or who was saying it. But people were saying how Jim Harbaugh was saying that Colin Kaepernick was the best quarterback in this draft. And if he could get him, he would just be on cloud 9. And he got him in the 2nd round, and it worked out up to a point with Colin Kaepernick. And so it's just little things like that. And yes, there was, Braylon, you alluded to it yesterday. Is there some posturing here? And some people were speculating that as well. But it's like, this is a guy that knows quarterbacks. This is a guy that knows how to coach up quarterbacks. What did the NFL scout say in Indianapolis? Said our NFL general manager said the players from Michigan are 2 years ahead of anybody else here. Why? Because Jim Harbaugh was their coach.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So every player at Michigan was 2 years ahead.
Wow.
Of where any other college football player was at that combine. So all of that goes into effect when you're talking about J.J. McCarthy. I think Washington would be a great spot for him. I think Minnesota would be a great spot for him. Anywhere but New England.
Yeah, you look at Jim Harbaugh.
Or Jaden Daniels. He's probably ready to throw up.
Not necessarily. I mean, you're talking about a lot of speculation. You're talking about conversation. There's a lot of time before the draft happens, Maz, which is April 25th. This is what happens around this time every year. Every year we have these quarterbacks that we build up for a year and a half, 2 years. We build them up, whether it's Bryce Young, whether it's C.J. Stroud, whether it's Trevor Lawrence, whether it's insert quarterback here, Drake May, Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett. You build these quarterbacks up. And then once January hit, you start tearing those quarterbacks down. Once February hits, you start tearing the quarterbacks down, or March. Then there's a lot of question marks. Then as well, he may not be as good as we thought he was. Maybe this player was a little more underrated. This is the time that we said, Ryan Ermanni, you said it, but definitely the one thing I said about JJ, he will win in this period. I said he will win in this period, and he is. He's winning because of his leadership. He's winning because of how he's doing the interviews. He's winning because of his cerebralness when they put him on the board. I think that's a big problem that these kids have in college now. When they go to the board, they don't know coverages. They don't know how to break down defenses and offenses, and they don't know the language and the lingo. And I think that's what Jim Harbaugh has prepared. Started off at college, went to the NFL, went back to college. Now he's back in the NFL. He has a great understanding of what college kids need in college to be great pros.
And again, Steve Wild writes in the chat, what's wrong with painting your nails or something like that? And again, this is not a conversation on what's acceptable in society and all of that stuff. You've got to throw that out the window. And you've got to say to yourself, what will play in an NFL locker room of men, grown men that you are trying to lead to a championship? Forget about everything that you think, what you believe in society and all of that. Think about an NFL locker room.
At the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. Like when those locker rooms, Maz, you want to deal with what you're supposed to deal with. Like when interviewers come up to you and reporters come up to you at the locker room, Ryan, you want to be asked questions about game coming up. You want to be asked questions about the offseason. What did you learn? What do you think about the new draft picks, free agency, et cetera, et cetera? You want questions that go with the game of football. You don't want to be in the locker room answering questions about someone's sexuality. You don't want to be able to answer those questions. How that question comes about is he's wearing a dress. Braylon, yeah, what did you think about that? Next question. He's wearing nails. He's painting. He's pink phone. Like at the end of the day, I don't.
The media is going to do that.
Because at the end of the day, I don't care. But the fact that I got to sit here and answer these questions, I have to answer these questions as opposed to talk about what's going on. It creates distraction. Right. It creates dissension, and that's what you're not trying to do in a professional locker room, especially still the NFL. You're not looking for that type of thing.
That's why Jalen Johnson said what he said
he did.
on Twitter, on X. He said it to him. Hey, kid, don't bring that Hollywood stuff into our locker room. Do not do that.
Yeah, no doubt. So more.
Speaking of Caleb Williams, the Bears are giving him a key to their practice facility and locker room already.
That's great.
So he is the number one pick. I guess there's no question about it.
Good for the Lions. Good for the Lions. I just don't think it's going to work for him. Unfortunately for him, I just don't think it's going to play in the NFL.
I'm interested to see how it works.
And he fumbles a lot. That's good for the Lions, too. All right, guys, break time. We'll be back in about 60 seconds or so, but sit right there. More NFL coming at you next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm.
That black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys, and especially me, one thing.
Stay out.
Stay out.
That's right. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and by people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Hey, Maz.
Yeah.
You like pets?
I do. I love them. Especially I take my pet and get all of his stuff. Gio gets his stuff from Premier Pet Supply. PremierPetSupply.com, hands down. Michigan's best pet store, family-owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, 60 brands of food at the lowest prices, curbside delivery, and they got nutritionists on site to answer any questions you may have. Do not settle for less. Give your pet the best. PremierPetSupply.com.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Chicken and pizza and your favorite team play. You know what it is? Nothing. Soroki's is the best bet you got going. Crispy chicken and pizza, salad size, the best way. And also, they are popping up all over the place. The food is amazing. Their locations, like I said, popping up all over. Perfect takeout option featuring hand-breaded fried chicken, New York pizza, fresh salad, sides, and more. That is SAROKIS.com. Soroki's.com. Soroki's and Woodward Sports. That's crispy.
Oh,
crispy.
Guys, we started with this top of the show, but wanted to get back to it. The Shohei Ohtani stuff. He spoke yesterday, and it's like, why do you even sit at a podium and not take any questions?
Yeah.
This does not add up.
Yeah, it does.
And we do have some audio of that. Here's what he had to say.
結論から言うと、彼が僕の、口座からお金を、盗んで、なおかつ、みんな僕の周りもそうですね、みんなに、嘘をついていたっていうのが。
And that's Shohei Ohtani.
He's got his new interpreter, Ryan. He's got his new interpreter.
Oh, okay.
So let him keep going.
Okay.
Just to kind of just go over the result, in conclusion, Ipe has been stealing money from my account and has told lies.
Has told lies and been stealing money, man. As two people that believe that Shohei is out here making all these bets and he's getting juiced because he's getting paid the world. Yeah, like what is the next move? Does the MLB, do they continue to?
They're doing an internal investigation.
Well, the feds are doing the real investigation because you have so much money, millions going to an illegal bookmaking operation.
Yeah.
That is where
they want their money.
Exactly. That's why.
Right. Now he went on to say, and you're going to hear that now, that not only did he not bet, but he did not have his friend, his interpreter, bet for him.
まず初めに、僕自身は、何かにかけたりとか、誰かに
So there you go on that.
代わって、そのスポーツイベントにかけたりとか、それをまた頼んだり、っていうことはないですし、僕の口座からブックメーカーに対して、誰かに送金を依頼したことももちろん全く、ありません。
So I never bet on baseball or any other sports, or never have asked somebody to do it on my behalf. And I have never went through a bookmaker to bet on sports.
No questions. Good night, everybody.
We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's
always very sketchy when you're not allowed to ask questions, especially somebody that is under these type of allegations, if you will. It's crazy because I told you I'm starting to come around to what you guys were saying, Ryan and Maz. But at the same time, he's still so calm about the situation. Like, is there something to the calmness about the situation? Like, he knows something in terms of speculation. Best.
I don't know if we'll ever know the full story. I don't know if we care to know the full story, to be honest with you. I mean, Pete Rose had a beautiful analysis of this. Do we have Pete Rose?
Of course.
Can we
Of
see
course.
Pete Rose?
Yeah.
Beautiful
Pete Rose
analysis.
and his friend.
Yeah.
Pete Rose
Hey guys,
and his
Matt
friend.
Thrash here, enjoying some March Madness with my great friend Pete Rose. And we were talking about the current goings on in baseball right now, and Pete wanted to mention something.
Well, back in the 70s and 80s, I wish I'd have had an interpreter. I'd be scot-free.
There you have it from the Hit King.
The Hit King and Matt Gelb.
Zach Gelb, CBS Radio.
Zach Gelb, CBS Sports Radio. But basically insinuating that the interpreter is the fall guy for this whole thing. And either way, social media, where we are as a society today, you've already made up your mind. You've already, like the guy earlier, that Ryan's not professional. He works at a right-wing news operation. Like, dude, you don't even know anything. You just heard it on whatever. Like, you could probably get a full-scale investigation, legitimate, from the federal, from the FBI, saying that Shohei Ohtani knows nothing about this. He was a victim in this crime that was committed. And
Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone shooter.
Well, I'm just saying. Please, never mind. You could have the facts right in front of you, and you're still going to believe that Shohei Ohtani is guilty of this. You're never going to believe that he had nothing to do with it. I'm basically trying to say that you've already made up your mind no matter where this investigation goes at this point. You believe he's innocent or you believe he's guilty. We might as well just throw the operation away. I don't hear you. Are you on? Are you on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think for somebody that's as good as Shohei Ohtani on both sides of the ball, man, in terms of hitting and pitching and always dialed in and playing in the World League thing in 2022, I believe they won. Maz, did they win in 2022 when Edwin Diaz got hurt? Or was that last year?
Talking about the Dodgers?
No, I'm talking about the World stuff. That when Japan played U.S.
Last year.
Okay, so last year, right? So he plays in that. He plays for the Angels. He pitches. He bats. He does all this. He's still young. I just still have a hard time with the bets. But to your point, it takes 2 seconds to make a bet. It takes 2 seconds to put a bet in, especially with illegal operations. So I'm just torn.
Not when you're making that kind of money. Those kind of bets. Can you make that kind of bet on a phone, Ryan? I doubt it. That's why the illegal bookmaker. That's why the illegal bookmaker is involved here.
It's illegal, but you can make that type of bet.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to the casino itself and plop the money down, that's a legal bet.
Right.
What he is doing
also
is
a track record of that.
he's giving his money to a guy overseas.
Right.
Louis down the street on Bleecker Street.
And basically, it's fine as long as he's not betting on baseball. But I think what we're seeing is
you don't know that.
Well, we don't know that. But as long as
so far they said,
who cares if he's betting, as long as he's not betting on baseball?
Soccer.
I think the problem is with all this stuff is what we're seeing now. Yeah. You're seeing. Calvin Ridley. Even though I think the Calvin Ridley thing was overblown. Yeah. He did bet on his own team. He wasn't with the team, but he did bet on his own team at the time. We see
$1,000, $1,500.
Yeah, Jonte. What's his name? Porter.
Yep.
Jonte Porter. With this, so you're seeing it all over, and I think you don't want it to become the WWE, even though it looks like it's heading in that direction. How many times in the NFL do you just feel like the NFL is fixed?
Yeah, I agree. It's
getting worse.
Gambling's still taboo. That's what it comes down to, Ryan. In my I think there's just levels of the taboo-ness. Now that it's legal, the taboo-ness goes to just the players. Like if a player is caught betting on anything, now you're like, oh my God, they're betting. They can't do that. Let's say he was betting on soccer. What does it really matter? It's just like Michael Jordan gambling in Atlantic City before playing the Knicks in the playoff games and going down there and coming back. Like if it's not betting on yourself, if it's not hindering your team in any way, sorry, Charlie Hustle, what does it really matter? But I think people still get caught up on the taboo-ness of gambling and wanting to control what players can and cannot do.
And it's too late now. The genie's out of the bottle. You can't even back off on gambling now. It's just it's everywhere. And this Jonte Porter guy, he's sitting out at games after he's almost reached the plateau of his prop bet. If that is proven true,
that's gonna
how do you feel comfortable ever even betting again on a game like that? To me,
you hope you're on the right side.
It ain't worth it, man.
Yeah,
it ain't worth it to me. I'll bet the horses, and I know they're going to be pulling back the horses. They've been doing that forever. I'll bet on a boxing match back in the day. A guy's going to fall.
That's not fixed.
Sonny Liston fell a few times. Chuck Webb. You go on and on.
Chuck Webb.
But this, man.
Bet on a boxing match.
But
not
this,
fixed.
you could bet if Steph Curry is going to miss a 3-point shot.
Next.
I mean, yes.
Will the next 3-point attempt be made or missed?
Yes.
That's
or
how
who's
much.
going to score first? I love that bet.
It's always fun.
Who's going to score first?
Right.
It's my favorite NFL bet.
Oh, my God. It's bad, man. You guys, sports, you have ruined it. You're with the devil. You're with the devil now. I hope you're happy.
Good stuff. All right, guys. March Madness, Wings, Pistons, all coming up next.
Ooh.
But first, a message from some Planet Fitness.
That's right, Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. $10 a month. They have stuck to the plan. They told you $10 a month last year, the year before that, and they've stayed with it. $10 a month is all it takes to get you activated. Look, also it's home of the no judgment free zone. You don't want to be judged when you work out. You want to be at your own pace, do it your own way. Well, you can't do that at Planet Fitness. And also, it is now home of the squeaky clean gym. It was always clean. Now it's squeaky clean. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
To Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Shake Shack and Woodward Sports want to remind you yet again that the quarterback challenge is real. All you got to do is scan the QR code right there on the screen, right there, and you'll win tickets to, count them, 1-2 tickets to the Lions home opener. You know it's going to be a great game regardless because the Lions, Kings, and North will be a part of it. If you can, throw it on the rope. You could be the home opener. You can be at the home opener. It's going to be a lot of fun this year. Lions expected to make another charge. Join Woodward Sports and join Shake Shack. QR code right there, or go to woodwardsports.com, and that's how you click on the link, and you can do the same thing. Shake Shack QB Challenge. Win 2 tickets. Detroit home opener.
May I have a creative license here to make a statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
And yours. Then I'm going to ask you two gentlemen whether or not the statement is true or false.
Okay.
In other words, cap or no cap.
Ooh.
How about that?
A Tuesday edition.
A Tuesday edition. The Detroit Red Wings play at the Washington Capitals tonight. The Detroit Red Wings are 1 point behind Washington for a wild card berth in the Eastern Conference of the NHL. Here's my statement. If the Detroit Red Wings win tonight, they will make the playoffs. If they lose tonight, they will not make the playoffs. They will fall 3 points behind. Capitals will have 2 games in hand. Tonight is the biggest game in the last 10 years for the Detroit Red Wings.
Nice call.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree 100%. I agree, and I'll let Maz answer.
Oh, go ahead. Do it.
Yeah, I believe it's the biggest game because I think it's because of everything we've talked about with Stevie Y coming from Tampa. You saw what he built down there in Tampa. You saw where the Red Wings were 9 years ago. You saw where they were before Steve Eisman got here. We believed in the Eisner plan. We believed in it. Was slow, and it's very methodical, and it hasn't been huge jumps, but you have seen the team get better every year. You have seen them bring in better free agency this year, most notably DeBrincat and Evander Kane. You brought those people in. But now here we are. When you guys had a run, you guys made moves, you guys stayed chill at the trade deadline, if you will. You didn't go after anybody, and here we are with a chance to lose what we built this season in terms of getting into that playoffs. If they lose this game and don't get in the playoffs, now some serious questions, I believe, start to get asked about the Heisman regime, about Derek Lalonde, about that. I think if they lose and don't make the playoffs, those questions start to become real questions, and I think that's why this is the biggest game in 10 years. I agree with you, Ryan.
So the Wings have 11 games left.
Mm-hmm. Tonight is the first of a 5-game trip.
So you're looking at the Capitals with 13 left then, you telling me, or 12?
12. They have 1 game in hand and are 1 point up.
And you're saying if the Wings lose tonight, they're not going to do it. They're not going to be able to overcome it and make the playoffs.
A 3-point advantage and a one game in hand. Not too correct.
I'm not going to disagree just to disagree, but I am going to disagree.
Okay.
They lost Saturday to the hottest team in hockey, the Nashville Predators, 1-0. And they held that a 0-0 game until about 8 minutes left in that game. They could have won that game. They'll bounce back tonight. I'm not sure if they're going to win. But if they do lose, they're going to go down swinging, and they're going to go down fighting on today, the 27th anniversary, I think it is now. 27 years of the Darren McCarty, Claude Lemieux.
97, 97.
The Turtle game. They're going to play their hearts out. But if they do lose, Ryan, that still leaves them with 10 games left versus 11 for the Caps. I still believe that they could still make a run and get that last playoff spot. So I'm not going to count them out if they lose tonight. But it is a big game, man. It's a 4-point game.
Got to give my boy D-Mac some love, man. I
Absolutely.
mean, we know what 1997 was, what it started, what it created, and what they were able to do going on to win 4 Stanley Cups, finally vanquishing their menacing rival and the villain that was the Colorado Avalanche, taking over that series, winning that. And he beat the hell out of Claude Lemieux, man. And then
he scores the game winner
in overtime,
in that game.
man. So, yeah, D-Mac, shout out to my guy. Legend.
And maybe we'll watch Unrivaled again tonight.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. After the Wings game, of
That's
course.
right.
After the Wings game.
In the NBA last night, the Detroit Pistons down 8 players. Man, it just I dipped into a little bit of this game. It was like target practice. That DiVincenzo or Dante DiVincenzo or whatever.
DiVincenzo.
Remember when he torched Michigan in the
he
final?
beat him single-handedly.
Absolutely. 40 points last night, 11 threes. And I'll tell you, at the end of the game, he hit his 11th three. There was like 2 minutes to go in the game. He wanted to get to 40 points. The Pistons have become like stat team. There was, if you're the Knicks, I actually was like, this Tom Thibodeau is such a dummy. If Dante DiVincenzo is out there with 2.5 to go or 3 minutes to go in the game, it's a 28 to 30 point lead.
Yeah.
They're running this guy into the ground. They've got the playoffs coming up in a couple of weeks.
Like, why you
He's known for this.
Why are you out there?
He's known for this.
Their starters
he
playing
wears
until
players
like
out.
33 minutes to go in the game, up 30.
I know, against the Pistons.
And then not only that, it's not like they're sitting back, okay? DiVincenzo's chucking threes.
Yeah. It ain't right.
And what the whole point I say in that is, if that's me on the floor, like in a Pistons uniform, I'm taking a shot.
Yeah.
I am trying to do something to you that is not sportsmanlike. You're trying to show me up like that.
Good call.
No way. That's if something would have happened, if DiVincenzo's shooting a 3 on me, up 30 with 3 minutes to go in the game, I'm come from the bad boys era. I'm doing something to you.
There's no reason he should be out there.
Right. No reason at all.
And the Knicks will go nowhere again. And like I said, I'm 62. They were 11 when they won. So I rest my case.
Yeah.
They're a nowhere team.
He's out there cooking, but at the end of the day, he doesn't even start in the NBA. So, like, you're getting cooked by a guy that doesn't start. Like, it's not like DiVincenzo's a guy out there that's 3-4-time All-Star. Like, he doesn't even start in this league. He's a backup player.
Made a lot of money, though, this year.
It doesn't matter.
A lot.
He's a backup player is what I'm saying. They're out there getting cooked. So, I mean, I can't be too mad. But at your point, Thibodeau's always been a hard, you-know-what, ASS. That's what they said. That's why they ran him out of Chicago, a couple other places.
They're at the T-Wolves tomorrow. That's going to be another beatdown.
Anthony Edwards, baby.
What a season, man.
Oh.
We had Greg on yesterday, Greg Kelser, and this guy's got to watch all these games and comment on them. I don't know how you do it.
Well, at least you get paid.
I know.
You
get paid.
I'm paying a cable bill to have that on my TV.
Yeah, me too.
That's true. But
Did you see LeBron get hit in the head the other day? Someone slapped his bald head.
I didn't see that.
I did not. I was going to go back to Greg Kelser. Just at the same time, though, Ryan, like when you're become part of a franchise like Greg Kelser, George Blaha, you've been there for years. Like it's more than just a check. Like you are a Pistons. He actually played for the Pistons too. So I know that sometimes he's looking at the play and he's
fly
going
with the team.
Yeah, he's going court to court. He's going half to half. And he's like, God, dog. Like I know it's got to be miserable.
Hey, Tigers, what do they got going today, Ryan?
Dude,
it's their last game of the spring.
20-9.
Yeah, they're playing Tampa now. This is the final game of the spring.
They've won 20 games this spring.
I know.
I'm trying to.
They've had a lot
draw
of
it
great
out until I pull my thing up. That's what I was trying to do.
They've had a lot of great bright spots this spring.
Tied.
One
3-3.
of them not being Javi Baez, by the way. Javi Baez is hitting 129.
I wouldn't bring him north.
Dead money? What's that?
I wouldn't bring him north. I really wouldn't.
I think Scott Harris is going to have. I think he's already made his mind up. To be honest,
they did tie 3-3, so
All
they
right,
finished 20-9.
That's great.
Absolutely.
And Javi was the first guy in terms of when last year they brought Scott in and he made his assessment of the team. Javier Baez was the first player he talked about in terms of pitches swinging at. He swings at the wrong pitches. That was the first thing he said when he got here.
Best part about today's game, Casey Mize, 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks.
Very nice.
Casey Mize.
Man,
really nice
everything
spring.
is looking rosy. knock wood. Maybe we can get Chris Getz Thursday. It's opening day.
Yeah. I'm not going to call Chris Getz.
Okay, I'll call him. Give me his number.
All right, here we go, man.
Well, there's no benefit. Nobody cares about with the White Sox.
Well,
he's
going to still talk about the Tigers.
Maybe when they come here. How about that?
All right, Ryan. That's fine.
Here's a discrepancy for you. Yesterday, you talk about sports.
I'll get us a Tiger.
We talk about sports betting. We talk about gambling. We talk about ways in which it affects the game. Look at Iowa women last night. Caitlin Clark, best player in the country, versus West Virginia. 33 fouls the refs called for Iowa. 5 they called for West Virginia.
Can I say this real quick? I'm glad you brought this up because I did tune
5 against?
Yeah, they called. West Virginia shot 5 free throws.
Wow.
Iowa shot 33.
That's a disgrace.
I did tune into that game. I'm so glad you brought this up before the end of the show. I did tune into that game a little bit. I was intrigued. It was Caitlin Clark's last game.
It's close for a second.
Iowa. It actually was tied with 2 minutes to go in the game. Yeah. I'm kind of like chilling on Caitlin Clark a little bit. She is a baby out there. She is a whiny.
You see her dad yap at her?
Baby out there.
Her dad from the stand.
That's who she was talking to. Did you see when she said, shut the F up or whatever she said?
Her dad told her. He told the coach, get her off the court.
But, I mean, she is a whiner out there, man. It is like, oh, God. It's like, please. I love what she's doing for the game. I think it's great.
Like, Ryan, look at this.
But the more, there's the stats.
Thank you,
but the more I pay attention to watching her, yes, she's great, but she whines as much as anybody I've ever seen. Not good.
Well, she also gets beat up too.
Well, yeah,
but there are people taking shots at her. Did you see last week? The girl hit her in the face with a Holy Cross girl.
Yeah.
I'm
just saying, for me, she whines a lot.
All right.
I'm just saying, pay attention next time you watch her.
I will.
Because I started watching her a little bit. I'm just intrigued by her greatness. And you're like, hey, yay, Caitlin Clark, and then yay, and then yay. And then, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, she, I could see her, turning heel, right? If this was, WWF. If this is WWF,
absolutely.
You have been Hulk Hogan, the All-American hero, and now you're Hollywood Hulk Hogan. You have turned heel. Bray, get us out of here.
The good thing about it, man, as long as people stay in the public eye, you get a chance to see who they really are, and maybe that's the case with Caitlin Clark. But look, more March Madness coming your way. Round of 16 now, man.
Yep, Thursday.
Thursday starts Sweet 16, so we'll give you more on that, talking about the Sweet 16. Also, we'll give you more on the Lions. We'll catch you up, see what's going on with Cam Sutton. Where is he now? Where are the Lions with that situation? Well, they cut him, but where is he at? Where's his well-being as well? And also, there's always football. It's the sport that keeps on giving. It's the gift that continues to give. It's a great show out of you, Mike.
Thanks to Calvin.
Thank you to Calvin Johnson. Megatron joining the show, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Very humble, in my opinion. But we appreciate him as well. Ryan and Ermanni, Time Mazaway. Love doing the show with you guys. We are Ermanni and Edwards, the Mavs.